Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing, abundant day. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about astrology and giving you guys an intro into astrology. This is just like the basics of how you can start off getting into astrology. This will be a series. I'm going to break down each and everything about the houses, the planets, the zodiac signs, how to incorporate it and how to use them in your chart so you know what to do. Now, I'm not saying I am an expert. I am also still learning about astrology and how to read my chart, but I think I know enough in order to pass that knowledge on to other people. So I hope you guys are ready to learn about this beautiful tool that I use in my everyday life. Let's get into the video. By the way, I am going to be linking websites and apps that I use on a regular basis in order to interpret my chart and to keep up with the transits. Make sure to look in the description box for all that good info, okay? So first things first, what is astrology? Astrology is the interpretation of celestial bodies that have an influence on human affairs and the human life. So we use those celestial bodies as a way to figure out what's going in life and how we can maneuver or work with those energies that are happening in that moment and go about our daily life with it. Astrology is becoming mainstream nowadays, so I know you heard of Mercury retrograde. That's probably like one of the biggest ones, and I think a lot of people have probably overdid it with what happens during Mercury retrograde, but things like that is what astrology is and how it can incorporate and how you can work with that energy with the planets into your everyday life. So you can figure out why people are the way they are, basically their personalities. It can help you learn lessons in life. It can bring about transformations, new beginnings. It can bring about luck. It's a lot of stuff that astrology can do for you, but you have to learn how to work with that energy instead of working against the energy of those celestial bodies. So let's talk about our birth chart / natal chart and what that is and how you can find your birth chart in your natal chart. So a birth chart or your natal chart is the chart in which the planets were aligned or where the planets were positioned when you were born. So whenever you were born, that is when this chart is signifying where the planets were at that point of time when you were born. So in order to find your birth chart or your natal chart, I'm going to link down below a website which I use in order to find my birth and natal chart, and it is called Astro Dentist or astro.com. I'm going to put it up there maybe, and I'm gonna put it down below in the description box, but it's called Astro Dentist / astro.com, and that is where you can find your birth chart and read every single thing about your chart. So this is how you go about finding your birth chart. You need your date, your birth time, and your birthplace. When you go on astrodentist.com, where you will go is the natal chart selection. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put the word that you really need to go. I'm pretty sure it's called the natal chart selection. So you go there, and from there you enter your information. After you entered your information, that is when you can get your birth chart and your natal chart. After you get that information, after you put that information in, it's going to bring up your birth chart, and that is where the planets were when you were born. So here is where you'll find your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus placement, your Saturn placement. So that will be in that chart. I recommend as a beginner to just focus on your sun, moon, and rising and get familiar with those planetary bodies and those positions of which there are in your chart, because that is pretty much the main three that a lot of people, especially beginners, know at the beginning of the journey. Although your whole chart is very important, to start off as a basis, your sun, moon, and rising, knowing those three and where they are in your chart and how they affect you based on the placements or where they are in the chart is what is really going to propel you forward in order to start learning more about astrology. So now you know what your birth chart signifies, what it's about, what is everything in your chart. So now you need to learn how to read it. Like what the hell are these placements? What are they? this is what they are. So your birth chart consists of your sun, moon, rising, and multiple celestial bodies that all work together in order to create your chart and to create you. Each person's birth chart is different and unique to them because each placement in that chart is different and unique to that person. So we're going to talk about the first big three, which is the sun, the moon, and your rising. So the sun placement in the chart represents your ego, your higher purpose, or your higher self, and which is your life purpose in life, basically. Your rising sign is how you present yourself to the world. How do the world see you? How do people see you? That's basically your mask that you put on for society. And then your moon sign is how you think, how you feel, your emotions, your subconscious mind. It's basically how you show empathy and how you nurture others. That is what your moon sign is. And those three are the main three that a lot of people tend to know. Some don't, but I highly recommend you guys learn that first and foremost, because those are pretty much the easiest parts of your chart to learn from and to understand. Now, I use this app called Time Passages, and it gives you a breakdown of your chart. It gives you your chart and it breaks down each placement that is in your chart. So say if you have a Taurus moon and it's in the 4th house, it's going to tell you why it's in that house and how it affects you since it's in that house. I highly recommend downloading Time Passages. I linked it down below. But yeah, so that's your sun, your moon, and your rising. When you get your birth chart, figure out what is your sun, figure out what is your moon, and figure out what is your rising and how it creates your personality and if it's spot on or if it resonates for you. Sometimes it don't resonate for a lot of people, but that is because there are other placements in your chart that contribute to your personality, not just your sun, moon, and your rising. So now we're going to talk about celestial bodies. Here I'm just going to be talking about like the main celestial bodies, which are the planets. Remember, this is going to be a series, so I'm going to break down each thing in a separate video of its own, so you guys can like get that information really easily and not just overload yourself. So the first planet we're going to be talking about is Mercury. Mercury is all about the planet of communication, intellect, thinking, how you like to talk to others, how do you communicate to others. This planet rules Gemini and it also rules Virgo. The next planet I'm going to be talking about is Venus, and this is pretty much a lot. This is my planet. I am a Libra, so although my chart ruler is the moon, since I have a Cancer rising, I do have a lot of Venus placements within my chart, so I'm just pretty much, I just love pretty shit, okay? I love pretty shit, I love pretty smells, I love good food. I'm fucked, I'm pretty much. So Venus is all about aesthetics, beauty, romance. That is what that planet is about. I'm pretty sure it's the goddess of love. That is that planet. So that planet rules Libra and Taurus, and I'm pretty sure I have like 5 placements, 5 Venus placements, and yeah, that makes my life really, really pretty. That's all I see. All I see is pretty stuff. I'm such a romantic. Yeah, I'm struggling over here, but I would not change it. The next planet is Mars. It's all about action, taking action, your sexual being and your sexual energy, aggression and anger. That's what Mars is all about. And Mars rules Aries. So this planet is all about sexual passion in general, the anger that you express, the aggression, and you know, all that stuff associated with it. And like I said, it rules Aries. Next we have Jupiter. Jupiter is ruled by, actually no, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, by the way, not the other way around. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and this planet is all about luckiness, faith, positivity, hope, optimism. Wherever this planet is in your chart and whatever house it is, that's where you will mostly exhibit faith, optimism, hope, and mostly where you will have luck in life. So that is what Jupiter signifies, and that is what Jupiter is. Next is Saturn. This is the planet of limitation and restriction. This planet rules over Capricorn, and Saturn basically gives you like lessons that you need to learn from and things like that nature. The next planet we're going to be talking about is Uranus. This planet rules over Aquarius, and it's all about freedom and change, you know, being free. The next planet is Neptune. This Neptune rules over Pisces. This planet is all about the psychic mind, dreams, where you get your inspiration from. So that is what Neptune signifies, and that baby rules over Pisces, which makes sense. The next planet is Pluto, and this planet rules over Scorpio. This is all about ruthlessness, once again, intense passion, and exerting your will over things. So that is what Pluto signifies, and that girl, she rules over Scorpio. So if I didn't say the moon and the sun, the moon rules over Cancer. The moon rules over your subconscious mind, how you think, how you feel. And then the sun is ruled by, the sun rules Leo. And like I said, that's your ego, your life purpose, your higher self. So now we know what all the planets means, what they rule over, what signs they rule over. And now let's talk about the houses and how when those planets are in those houses, how it affects those attributes that are associated with those houses. Okay, so we have 12 houses. The first house represents your sense of self, your personality, and how it is presented to others. The second house represents possessions, money, and physical resources. I'm sorry, y'all, I thought I saw a butterfly. And basically affects your desires and your values. That is what the second house signifies. The third house represents thinking and communication, basically brothers and sisters, short journeys, things of that nature. The fourth house represents family and home life, how you see family, how your mother and father was experienced by you, or your family and home life. So whenever you have a planet in that house, that is how you experience family. So your fifth house represents creativity and self-expression, and how you express yourself to the world. It is also associated with romance and offspring, stuff like that. The sixth house represents being a servant to others, sickness and health. The seventh house represents marriage and partnerships of all kinds, and how issues related to other people affect you and those around you. The eighth house represents sexuality, transformation, death, rebirth, things of that nature. Your ninth house represents your intuition, studying of a higher learning, how you perceive spirituality or religion, and your faith. The 10th house represents public life, authority, and career issues in your chart. The 11th house represents goals and objectives related to group associations. And then lastly is the 12th house, and that represents the unconsciousness, your subconscious, and things beyond that plane. Sometimes people won't have planets in this 12th house, and sometimes you won't have planets in any other houses, but that is okay. So the 12th house represents your subconscious mind, anything beyond the plane that is the physical reality. So these are just a little bit, a snippet of what each house represents and what they mean. Now I will create a whole separate video all about the houses, the planets. This is going to be a series, like I said, and I'm going to go even more in depth about each house and each planet and what they represent and how they are incorporated in your chart. So I'm gonna actually pull up a poll here, or I think it's gonna be over this side on this screen, and I am going to put up a poll. You guys choose which video you guys want next from this series, so I can get on doing that video, get on to it. But yeah, so that's how the houses. Now we're going to talk about the zodiac signs and how they are represented in the chart and what they mean when you see them in a chart. So in a chart, I heard some say, my favorite astrologers, I will link some of my favorite astro accounts down below, but they say that the zodiac signs aren't the most important thing in a chart, and that is because whatever that sign falls in, the house it falls in, is what really matters. The zodiac sign is basically like a personality about that specific house. It's how you show, it's the personal attributes that you give off when that placement is in your chart. So of course we have the zodiac, which we have the air signs, the earth signs, the fire signs, and the water signs. Water signs consist of the Cancers, the Pisces, and Scorpios. Then we got the fire signs, which are the Leos, the Sagittariuses, and then we have the Aries people. Okay, next we have the earth signs, which is Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And then lastly we have air signs, which is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So each of these signs have their own personal attributes, and personally I don't want to talk about it in this video because it's going to be super long. So I'm going to create a whole video about the zodiac signs and my opinions on them, and then also the, you know, actual research about those zodiac signs. Let's just say Scorpios and Cancers, I am on your necks, okay? I don't think y'all want to hear some opinions that I have about them. But yeah, so when you see a sign in your chart, that basically means that that's the personality, that's the attributes that you exhibit in that spot. So that is what it means when you have a sign in that house and along with the planet. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and stopping by. I hope you got some useful information out of this video. It was really fun to create, although I'm not gonna lie, my mind is everywhere. There's a lot that go into astrology, a lot of information, and it's super fun to learn about. So I hope you guys have fun starting this journey on learning about astrology and learning who you are via the planets. Okay, me personally, I think it's super accurate for me to learn about my natal chart and how the planets affect my life daily, because to be honest, it's super accurate for me. So let me know how it goes and what your sun sign and moon sign and rising sign is. If you want to comment that down below, maybe I'll give my thoughts on them, just maybe. I promise y'all, I got my eyebrows drawn on. I just don't know why it's so light. Okay, my eyebrows on. Okay, it's on. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and make sure to stop by my shop if you guys would like to see Black women as supernatural ethereal beings. Oh, remember, I am restocking my tarot deck on July 17th. Now, if you are signed up to my newsletter, which is linked down below on my website, it'll be a pop-up so you guys can sign up. You will get access to the decks one day before everyone else. So I highly recommend to sign up to my newsletter so you can guys get that little offer and get that tip. Okay, it's gonna be 200 in stock this time. I did a whole bunch, so I hope you guys can snag one this time. And thank you guys so much for supporting me that way. I didn't know that my decks were gonna blow up this big, but I am internally grateful for that. So yeah, that's the end of this video, and I'll see you guys next time. I love you guys so much, and make sure to have a beautiful, abundant day.